way that I'm dressed, you'd think I was up to go to a football game. I'm not. These are the clothes that I will wear during the day, and then I'll sleep in at night. Lots of us sleep in a t-shirt type top and a pair of shorts, don't we? And that for me is ideal because that's what I wear during the day. I'm not going to a football game, however, I am going fishing. So that's why I'm up bright and early. I can see the window in front of me and it's still dark, so I'm up very early this morning. However, before I begin to load the car and make my way down to the canal, a cup of tea. Always start the day with a cup of tea. I've arrived at the canal. I'm baiting up. Can you see there? A mallard. It realised there's some free food going. I put some brown crumb in with maggots. Now I'm pulling out a few loose ones as well. I'll let that settle just for a short time because I've got my rod made up. Then I'll be casting out and hopefully it won't be mallards I'm showing you, but fish, perch to be precise. I just had a fish on first cast. Unfortunately, we didn't stay connected too long. It's certainly an encouraging start. It was a decent one as well. No doubt a perch. Not quite on long enough to say 100%, but I'm pretty sure it was a perch. That was a good start. And hopefully it's not all downhill from there. But that's just the beginning. I put the bait out again, put the float out, watching the float, put the float out again, the bait's out there. I'm confident that I'll get something today, without doubt. You always have to be confident when you go fishing, don't you? It's no good going and thinking to yourself, I'm wasting my time. Because if you don't think you'll catch, then you won't. You'll never be disappointed if you think you're going to have a bad day. There's some debris out there, lots of leaves. This is the time of the year when everything comes off the trees, and we've had some heavy rain as well recently. Fortunately though, the water isn't coloured. Some sections of the canal it is, depends on the bit that you're fishing. That's why you've got to get to know your venue. And also as well, now that the water temperature starts to drop, location's important. You can see from the screen there, I've got some structure in front of me and around me as well. I'm next to a lock. I fish different locks on various canals. And once we come to, I've got one, and I'll be back in a moment because I need the net for this. And I was saying that once we come to this time of the year, location is important. Nice enough fish to get me off the mark, and you don't always use the landing net just because it's a £2 perch. It's all about not losing it as you lift it from the water, and also it's kinder to the fish as well to lift it in a net as opposed to dangling on the end of the line. I'm only fishing a metre away from the edge of the canal, so I've set up away from it for two reasons. First of all, to stay away from the water's edge anyway, so that I'm keeping low and I'm back. I'm not going to spook the fish. But secondly, practical. I've got a 12-foot rod and I need to bring the rod back, and I've got another fish on there, and I think I'm going to need the net again. I'll see you in a moment. It's not big, but I'll net it for the reasons I mentioned just. It's certainly a feisty perch. I'm going to hold that one. It's smaller than I thought, but I use the net as a precaution. I'm going to show you specifically there the mouth. That's important. You always need a disgorger, but it's one of those things that you always carry, especially when you're fishing with maggots for perch, and you hope that you never need, like a good insurance policy. Strike early though. That's the perfect way to connect with a perch. The hook can be removed easily with no problem or discomfort to the fish at all. Plenty of action this morning, but always time for a cup of tea. When I was driving to the canal, it was still dark then. There were lots of cars on the road going to work, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going fishing, they're going to work. And if you were in that group, the latter group, you'd probably think, oh, I wish I was in that position that he's in right now, going fishing rather than work. However, this afternoon, 2 p.m. to be precise, I'll be on my way to work myself, and then I'll get back home about 12:30 tomorrow morning. So it swings and roundabouts, as they say. I know that I work in football, so it's different to maybe sitting in an office or working in a factory or whatever it might be, especially if you're a football fan like I am. However, it's still work, and at the end of the day, once you get the perfect job and the novelty wears off, then you realise that it is a job. I enjoy it. I'm in my 7th season now, and I'm still very much enjoying working in the beautiful game. But there's still commitment required as an individual. You often find yourself working at different hours. Well, I do. I don't work 9 till 5. If you want that sort of job where you switch off and then you don't go in till the next day or the following Monday, that's not the sort of job that football is. However, I'm not complaining. Far from it, I enjoy it. It actually suits my philosophy on life. Another perch. I'm going to net this one again. I think I'll show you this. I've been catching a few. Again, there, hooked nice and tidily with the hook right on the edge of the mouth of the perch. So football suits me. It suits my lifestyle. I've also got a good wife as well, and she doesn't mind when I'm answering emails or putting some news up during the evening or whatever it might be. It's all about life. Whatever cards, whatever hand life deals with us, deals to us. Let's get it right. Whatever cards life deals to us, just play them accordingly and enjoy life. That's the important thing. You may notice on my YouTube channel, you're watching this video on there, no doubt, or maybe embedded on my site, which you wouldn't be aware of, but I have disabled the comments. I did that a long time ago. Purely a time management thing, nothing sinister going on or anything like that. But you can comment on my website under each of the blog entries. The video forms part of the blog entry. You'll see a comments box. All you need to do is just put your name. In fact, you don't even need your name if you don't want to. But just write a comment and then submit. So you don't have to go through any rigmarole of registering or whatever. I do enjoy talking to people, especially when it's pleasant and it's positive. I don't get much negativity anyway, to be honest. If you watch my videos, you read what I write, you'll know that I'm not controversial. I try and be respectful to people. I'm not seeking controversy. I don't have digs at folks. You'll never read anything or watch anything that I say and think to yourself, I wonder who he's having a go at today. Who's the hidden person that he's having a little pop at? You won't get any of that. I'm not interested in that at all. I've got that duck. The duck's come by the side of me and it's making noises because it wants me to feed it. I've been throwing maggots to it. Isn't that great? Anyway, you won't get any of that. But isn't social media getting worse? I was on forums when they first started. Thought it was fantastic. We can talk to anglers all over the world. How great is that? And then, within a short period of time, all the pleasantness and the positivity gets drained away and the good people leave. And then you end up with all these folks, or many of them, not all, but many of them, who somebody posts a question like, what's the best bait for chub on the River Severn? And within 10 posts, 2 anglers want to meet up and have a fight. I don't go on forums now. I am on one particular club forum, purely and simply because they post information on there. So that's different, but in the sense of going on and having conversations with people, I don't do that. Twitter is probably the worst of all the social media platforms. And I saw, obviously, like we all have, Donald Trump recently got coronavirus. And the number of people, I don't go on timelines normally, but I went on to have a look. And the number of people who were wishing ill upon him, hoping that he dies a slow, horrible death. It really is nasty. And even when people challenged them and said, that's not nice, they would just come back and say, well, he's not nice. So by your standards, if someone's not nice, according to you, it's okay for them to die a slow, horrible death. But when I'm reading those comments, I'm thinking, you're not nice, you're a horrible person. So should you die a slow, terrible death? It's awful, isn't it? It really is. Sometimes we need to step back and have a look exactly what we're writing. And I'm going to have to feed it in a moment or two. And sometimes we need to step back and we need to see exactly what we're putting out there. And do you know what's frightening? Sometimes you look at the bios of those people and they're teachers, doctors, nurses, social workers, or whatever it might be. And they're just coming out with pure, unadulterated hatred. And you see their bio saying, I stand for social justice, I stand for a better life, I stand for peace to all. And you read what they put underneath and you think, no, you don't. This isn't a rant. People say rant over. I'm not ranting. I don't do rants. What I do is challenges. A challenge to me. A challenge to you. Let's be careful about what we post. Let's make sure that our lives are positive. Because basically, whatever we put in will come out. So if we put nastiness and anger and aggression in, that's what will come out in our lives. And we'll never be happy. We'll never have peace when it really counts at the centre of our hearts. If we're vindictive and nasty and hateful people. Be positive. As I said previously about enjoying life. We'll never enjoy life if we're all churned up. Maybe for some of us we need to stay away from social media. We need to change what we do. Because if you go on there and it gets you wound up, stay away from it. It's not good, it's not positive. And I've just missed a bite, not because I was talking. I think that might have been a roach, actually. It dipped like a roach does when it takes the bait. It has been busy this morning. Little lulling proceedings while I've been talking. So that's been convenient, if nothing else. Been able to take advantage of that. And I do bring these little inspirational messages from the water's edge sometimes, and not just inspirational and encouraging, but also challenging as well. We need to be challenged from time to time. And the things that I see on social media, especially Twitter, as I've mentioned, I don't look at timelines ordinarily, only if there's a specific reason. Facebook's the same. I don't look at timelines. I don't want to see all the hatred. I don't want to see the moaning and groaning. I don't want to see the people who are just like obsessed with how much they hate the Conservatives or Boris Johnson or whatever it might be. I'm not interested. I'll tell you what I am interested in though, is enjoying life. And for me, a big part of that is fishing. And if I can catch fish when I go, I'll tell you what, that's often the icing on the cake. I know we go fishing to get something on the bank, but it's just great being out there, isn't it? It's great being out there in what we call the great outdoors, and it's great indeed.